welcome to Adobe Live. Of course, before we get going, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we live, create and learn on today, paying respects to elders past, present and emerging. My name's Jo, and I am here. Let's see, we have some double audio. Let me just fix that real quick. There we go. All this YouTube streaming stuff, it's very confusing, isn't it? But we'll get there in the end. So hello everyone and welcome. There we go, that's playing and on mute. Nice. Hello in chat, Manny, welcome. All right. So today I thought, as you can tell by the title of the stream, and sort of maybe indicated by the images that I'm surrounded by, we're going to design, or at least conceptualize, our own mid-century home. So what inspired this stream was both my love of mid-century modern design, but also what kind of got me into illustration, concept art, and comics, and sort of the design world in general was the Incredibles movie. And the art direction for the Incredibles movie is some of the best I've ever seen, in my personal opinion, and I'm very biased. So today we are going to be inspired and referencing both Firefly, of course, and the overall design or sort of mood that the Parr family's house in the Incredibles movie is. So without further ado, if you have any questions as we go along, please feel free to post them in the chat, be it on YouTube or on Behance, and I'll do my best to answer them. We have a busy Flynn today, so he won't be in the chat helping us out. So just bear that in mind if there's a slight delay in me answering any questions. But I think it is time to get started. So let's switch over. There we go. This one here. So this is our canvas for today. So Adobe Live's dream home. And I've taken the executive decision to say that our dream home is sort of mid-century modern, sleek and stylish, and stylized as well. So I hope you're all right with that, chat. Now, as usual, I've done a little bit of pre-stream sketching. So here you can see at the top, these are sketches and notes based on prompt results that I got through Firefly. And in Firefly, I basically used mid-century modern side view or front side view house, and things like that. And as we go along further into the stream, we might actually pop back into Firefly and do some, extra bips and bobs, and we'll see how it prompts live as well. And then, of course, I did very, very simplified sketches of the Incredibles 1 Parr house, and of course the house that they, potentially slight spoiler, do live in the second movie, which I can recommend you watch both movies. That's your homework from today's stream, is to watch both Incredibles movies. And then, of course, here are the images that came out of Firefly, using my classic prompt tags, I should say, of, nostalgic, kitschy and simple, and pastel colors, and the golden hour lighting as well. It's sort of my go-to style now in using Firefly. But I reckon it's time to get sketching. So I'm using the same brush as I've been using for a while, actually, the smashed felt tip, because it just seems to be doing the job well. So why not keep going with it? So I'm going to take a look at my sketches, kind of get a sense of what I want to do. Now, I'll try not to move around too much in the canvas, but bear with me. And I'm just going to do our initial line. And because this is a sketch, I'm going to refrain from using too much, too many. I've lost the words in that one, so never mind. But let's just go for it. So I'm curious, chat, if any of you, well, either if you've seen the Incredibles movie, what you thought, or if you have a particular style of house that you really like. Maybe you can draw along your dream home with me. That would be cool. Let's see here. I think that might be a component of the house. So we're going to try to be pretty loosey-goosey today. And to sort of get a basic sketch going. And then after that, we can go in and maybe refine it later, or something else I thought could be a little bit cool is to go in and maybe look at some interior decoration stuff and use Firefly live in the stream, which we haven't done before yet, actually, to get some interior design inspiration. So let's see, this is just my basic shape so far, but we don't really have the scale for this house yet. So let's get some scale into the mix. Now, I think first of all, I'd love to have the sort of what I see as pretty classic, like the fireplace shape that you can sometimes see on the outside of houses. Now, I will say this is not 100% absolute mid-century modern design, because partially I'm not an architect or an interior designer, but I'm a massive admirer of the style. And of course, the design in the Incredibles movie, which we're using as inspiration, that is also certainly a mixture. So it's like a futuristic mid-century modern, which I think is really, really cool. So let's see here. Let's give ourselves an entrance. Maybe here. And then I really like the idea of the skylight situation, or maybe it's a two-story house and there's a semi-attic situation going on. So let's do that. And you will notice, sadly, that we don't have any music in today's stream. And I apologize for that, but hopefully we can let the good times roll just with drawing and my excellent commentary today. Let's see. And basically what I used Firefly primarily for this time is the shape language, but also color palette inspiration, and just seeing what it could achieve with, I'd say, quite a limited brief. Because like side view of a mid-century modern house isn't necessarily too much to go on. And I think if I was an architect, I would probably have better words to explain, because I'm sure there's photos in Adobe stock of these kinds of houses. Otherwise, I don't think I would have gotten the results that I have here. Okay, now thinking about scale, I'm going to have a look at our references here just to get an indication, because it's also all about how how close we are to the house itself, because that's going to influence scale. But I think that maybe is better. Let me make that a little bit smaller. Let's see here. Now we'll just make one last attempt at getting music here on the stream. Will it work? Who knows? Let me know, chat, if you do hear music in the stream today, because it is at the very least not coming through on my end. Now let's see. What do we think of that so far? I don't mind it. This is definitely a solid foundation, I would say. But I think there's an opportunity to make it a little bit more interesting. So let's just finish off the chimney here. And again, trying to maybe that's a little bit too that's a bit much. It's distracting from the main image here. But let's see what kind of outside elements we can draw upon. You know what? I think it is time to jump into Firefly on the iPad. So let's grab this. Don't worry about these error messages. I just opened up the site, so that's from a previous search. So let's see. Front view of a mid-century, if I can spell, century modern house. Let's see. And you notice I also have the art, or interchangeably the graphic content type as well, just to help me a little bit further with the simplification and the stylization of the prompts that I'm given. Okay, so quite similar to what I was getting before. But let's see. I think more straight lines or more lines are in order. So let's go back into Fresco and see here. There's definitely... Okay, let's take a step back. So I'm going to change the color of my brush here. So we want to, I think, figure out if there's anything here, and also figure out if this is a garage or if this is an extension to the house. I'm more than happy for you to, in chat, let me know what you think this should be, whether we actually add on something like a garage here on the left, or if you actually maybe, again, add on here to the right, because luckily for us, money is no obstacle in designing this home. So anything and everything is possible. Now, in my sketch, I did really like these trees and just these like shrubbery and foliage that I saw. So let's quickly bring this image onto the canvas and just lower the opacity. I'm going to do a super quick copy sketch. Let's see. Of these bushes. And that's in a separate layer. Yeah, and then a quick copy also of trees, which I've just added here as a reference, and now these will become very rough placements. Let's see what we want to do. Let's do something, yeah, like that. Why not? And then like so. So this is like a referenced way, or a self-referenced way to add stuff into your, let's see, where is that image? Gonna zoom out a bit. There it is. Just move it around so I can also see the cloud that I've drawn here. And that's a very fluffy cloud. Oh, thank you so much, Manny. Yeah, I did actually have a little bit of difficulty with what Firefly was giving me, and actually, I think that boils down to just I already had quite a strong idea of what I wanted to make already. So I was, in a sense, just trying to get Firefly to do what I wanted. Let's see. And perhaps not actually using it as I have in the past, which has been quite sort of, whatever you come up with, Firefly, that sounds cool. And I'll put that tree there, and then the cloud can be up here. And then for simplicity's sake, we'll duplicate the cloud and kind of distort it a little bit and just have that there. Now I'm going to move this reference image because it is on the canvas. And let's see. I think that's looking all right so far. I don't mind it. I do think we need to reposition it on the canvas just a little bit. Let's see. So let's group those together. And there we go. I'm going to hide the initial base sketch that we started with and also hide a little notes there. Okay. I like where this is going. I definitely reflected a little bit on last week's stream, and I did feel that I tried to do too much. I think having an experimental show like this, and also just due to the nature of me as a illustrator and human being, if I'm honest, I really wanted to continuously push the envelope, so to speak. So to continually each stream do something that challenged me, or that would be really cool for all of you to watch me create. And I think at the end of the day, the most important thing, I think, is that we all have a good time, but in particular that I have a good time making all this stuff for the stream, because then usually it'll actually turn out quite well. So let's see here. Now I think that's starting to shape up into quite a lovely little home. But I am wondering about all this space, how we can make the most out of this space. So I'm going to make a new layer. And really kind of just take inspiration from the prompted images that I've got in here. Let's see, do we want to go all the way? You know what? I think that should be a straight line. So what I like about mid-century design in terms of homes and facades. Hello, Alessandra. Welcome to the stream. Today we are doing a drawing of our dream home, inspired heavily by the mid-century modern design aesthetics of the Incredibles movie, and of course using Adobe Firefly as usual to sort of kickstart our visual inspiration and reference. And at the moment, I'm kind of doing the Greeblies, you could say, of a drawing. So I have the foundation, and I'm just adding a little bit of extra character to what we have here. Let's actually change up. Let's see how that cloud looks like. So it's not an exact copy. So now we can hide that for now. So if you have any suggestions of things that I should add, sort of what is quintessential for you, a mid-century modern home, let me know. Because this is as much just sketching to have fun and sketching for the sake of it as it is trying to capture it with accuracy. So let's see here. I think we've solved this left side here problem, making that a garage. I think that works, but we'll have this area here that I'm not quite sure of. Not quite sure what to do here. So I'm going to have a look at the references. And again, we don't have to potentially have something here. But I'm just wondering what, in terms of the references that we have, what might work. And I think, just some kind of accent. Ooh, could we do something like that? Oh, no, maybe that's too futuristic. So let's connect it kind of here, maybe. Oh, that's not a straight line. Let's see. My goodness me. Let's try that again. That's close enough. And then what we... Got my thinking face on today. What gave you the idea of drawing houses, Joe? Anything inspired you to do it? Yes, actually. So partially I just wanted a nice and a bit more simple sketchy stream, and I'm realizing the scale here is quite off. So let's fix that. But yeah, I wanted to think of, again, something a little bit out of my comfort zone, but also something that, let's see, 1 second. I just need to figure out how I want this window to be. Maybe something like that. What do we think of that, chat? Let me know. I'll leave it like that for now because I know it takes a minute or two for the chat to, for the video to catch up. But let me know what you think of that. Let's see. And I think maybe the door needs to be a bit taller again. But yeah, what inspired me, and what actually inspired me to get into sort of the design world in general, just the illustration, storytelling, movie animation, graphic design world, if I'm honest, was the Incredibles movie. So it introduced me to superheroes. It introduced me to comics and concept art and design. And actually, if you hold on a second, got a little treat that I'll share with you. And then maybe we just have more bushes here and a little flower garden pot thing. Now that to me is looking potentially too busy, but we'll see. We can always change it up in the next iteration of what we're doing. Because I think now we've got that group. Going to duplicate the group. Going to hide that original one. And then we're going to merge all layers in group. Ooh, scary stuff. And then let's see. Instead of doing refined sketches, I'm just going to clean them up a little bit. And while I do that, I also want to just add a sense of color variation. And Khaled, welcome to the stream. Glad to see you in the chat. Can I make a cartoon film? I would absolutely love to try to make a cartoon film. It does take a lot of time and work to get one done. So I'd have to do quite a lot of planning. But it is absolutely something I would be interested in doing. Have you made a cartoon film or an animated movie before? If you have, let us know in chat. Do you have any tips? Tips or tricks, perhaps? Let's see. So now I'm going to make the brush a little bit smaller and creating a bit of bit more depth in what we have here, and sort of make it go slightly beyond just being a sketch. And let's have a look at time. I think we're doing quite all right for time. Famous last words, I suppose, for time management. But let's see here. And what else? Let's do another layer. Make the opacity even lower, because this is going to be the windows. And as always, if you have any questions about what I'm doing, the program that I'm using, which is Fresco, as always, let me know in the chat. I'd be more than happy to do my best to answer any of your questions. And it's always nice to have questions in the chat and a nice conversation going. I'm gonna do that cloud. I'm actually gonna go back and that's too large a brush. Let's see, do I have it on 30? I might have had. And just redo this cloud. Yeah, that's good enough. So it matches in line weight to the other cloud now. Excellent. Wow, Alessandra just finished coloring 9 of your traditional prints. That is fantastic. I can't wait to hear how they all turned out. And I believe you were doing pun-based illustrations, which, I mean, fantastic. I love it. Let's see here. What other colors? I think we could add maybe the garage. Could also be lightly colored in. Let's see here. So yeah, just keeping it pretty cruisy in today's stream. I am now not a fan of the flower pot, but I don't want to work destructively. So I'm just gonna use the layer mask tool and create a mask and remove it. Similarly with the color, the grey highlight, because now that there's a little bit more depth, I should say, I can clearly see like, oh, that's looking too busy, or that's actually quite enough of that. So let's see. Oh, I am not too mad about that. I think that works quite nicely. Just gonna add a little bit of background interest to sort of frame what we're doing. Let's see. And then I'm thinking maybe we have a think about maybe things on the inside. Or I don't know. I'm happy for you, chat, to kind of decide where we go next. So I don't think it'll be designing another house, but maybe we go into the house and look at stuff there. And that's quite enough. We could go inside the house, maybe pick out like key mid-century modern design things to add. You could do a color palette as well. Let's see, like a simple color block as well. Kind of see where we get to with that. I'm happy for you to decide. We got, maybe I'd say, if my math is right, we've got a little over 20 minutes, I think. So let's see. Yeah, I like that. The last thing I'll do is complete the border of this illustration. So it looks like one complete drawing. That is very crooked. Let's try that again. Again, the main goal of the stream today was to try something a little bit out of the comfort zone. Still utilize Firefly, of course, but just to take it a little bit easier than our previous stream. And I think we have done just that. Another thing I wanted to do is I think the clouds aren't popping as much as I'd like them to. But I'd say, even though it's sepia colored, I think that isn't half bad. So let's now check in with the chat and see. Let's see. I have an art event where I'm going to sell my artwork next month. I'm feeling a bit discouraged because I don't know if my prints came out well. Well, Alessandra, first of all, congratulations on getting a chance to sell your art. I would buy it up in a heartbeat if I could. And I think you can only do your best with what you get, right? And whether the colors come out the way you want or the prints come out the way you want, they're sort of a signpost for where your art is at now. And I think, not that you've necessarily asked for my unsolicited advice, but if you can focus just on enjoying the moment that is, yes, I get to sell my work to people, and this is sort of the quality and the level that I can achieve now. And my goodness, next time I get to do this, let's try a different method or try something new, so that every opportunity is recognizing what you are doing and what you get to do and how cool that is and how proud of yourself you should be. And equally thinking, after you've celebrated that fact, what can I do for the next time, or what things can I try, whether that is a different formula in some part of your practice, and just take this as, okay, well, this was part one, step one, and get yourself excited for the next event, which I'm sure will happen sooner rather than later. So massive props to you, and I wish you good luck, though I don't think you need it. And I can't wait to hear back how this experience was for you. And inspired by this little segue, I'm just gonna add in a sun. And actually just go in and make that. Is that going to do anything? No, because I'm erasing. And that also did barely anything because it wasn't a very bright color. Let's, one more time, go almost white. And that's too much, but we can always bring it back. There we go. Now we've got a little sun. But we have 4 to 5 minutes left, actually. I keep forgetting that the time is a bit different here when we do these Firefly Fridays. So I'm going to quickly catch up on chat. Oh, that's very kind. This drawing looks like an opening scene of a cartoon movie. Sounds very, very a very interesting idea there. Might have to do something with that. Do the living room area. Yeah, I was thinking about furniture, and thank you for the clouds. I am quite pleased with them. I'm wondering, actually, should we move? Oh yeah, no, not like that. But maybe we move. Now this is where a good understanding of balance and composition comes in, which I of course have. But since I don't think we actually have too much time, what have I done here? Yes. I don't know what I've done there. Oh, that's what I've done. No, that is not what I've done. Well, let's quickly fix that before the stream ends. And does that fix it? Nope. Oh, goodness. What have I done? Let's try one last thing. Yes. Ha! Fixed it. And now, of course, I don't like where the sun is placed. Ay. That's all good. Worse things could have happened. But I think we're going to have to leave it there. Leave it there for now, and maybe this is a illustration that we come back to in the future. I definitely think there's something to what we've done here, and I would love to especially finish up the line work and maybe do some color blocking and seeing how we can bring this to life even more, because as I've said throughout this stream, this kind of style of house and how closely connected it is to my introduction to the design world in general, this one feels a little extra special. So I think I'm going to have to see this one through to the end. But all that said, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with all of you. Thank you for your lovely comments in the chat, and for spending this time with me. I'm of course back next week again for Firefly Friday, and I haven't quite decided what we're going to do yet. So if you have any ideas, please feel free to reach out to me on my Instagram, which is Dark Hours Co, on Instagram and on Twitter as well. And if you have any funky ideas, I'd love to hear them. But until then, we of course have more streams coming up next week that are very exciting. And then another Firefly Friday next Friday, I do believe. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. And get some drawing in today if you can, or just do something with your hands or make something today and have a great one. So catch you later and have a wonderful day. Bye.